Hello people. So this is what a tower garden looks like before it has any plants in it. I just cleaned this one up, and you can see in these little tiny holes here, I can't see it very well, but hopefully you can. That's rock wool in there. That's what you can put the seeds directly in there and let them grow from there. Or you can start them first and then transplant them into the rock wool cubes. You can see that this one is 5 stacks tall. Each stack has 4 growing holes. That's a total of 20 plants that can be grown in this tower. That's the equivalent of 20 linear feet of garden space. And you can see that this only takes 2.5 feet. There's the base of the tower. It's about 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet. I left that little trapdoor open. I don't know if you can see anything in there. You probably can just see darkness. You can hear the water though. That's where the water is. There's 20 gallons of water in there. There's a little tiny pump in there. It's a 20-watt pump. And it pumps the water up the tower all the way to the top through a little tiny tube. I'm going to take the top off so you can see the top. See that little bubbling well of water? That's coming out of the tube, and then you see all those holes. Those are strategically placed so that the water hits the roots of the plants as it falls back down by gravity. Pretty cool, right? So this is called aeroponic growing because the roots are suspended in air. They're not hanging in the water. They're just hanging in air inside that tube. Pretty amazing, huh? So because of these reasons, because the water falling creates more oxygen, also because this thing is white instead of any other color, the plants grow 3 times faster than my in-ground garden. I can start harvesting lettuce out of this tower in 3 weeks, where my in-ground garden takes about 6 weeks to get a harvest out of. Pretty cool, right? Also, you can see that the water is recycling itself. It just goes from that tank down there up to the top and back down again. So because the water is recycling itself, the plants use about 90% less water than my in-ground garden uses. So not only does it take up less space, it takes about 90% less space, and it also takes about 90% less water. Pretty amazing, right? And you know, California, we're a drought place, and we need to save all the water we can. Even if you're not in a drought place, you know, your consciousness tells you that you should conserve on water, right? So this water is just being recycled. The nutrients are liquid. You add them to the tank there in the bottom. Whenever you add 5 gallons of water, you add more nutrients. My nutrients last me about 6 months. It cost me $5 to $10 a month for the nutrients. Also, I'll tell you about the power. You know, because that pump down there is so little, it's a 20-watt pump. I did the math on my electric bill here. It cost me 69 cents a month to run my tower. Pretty inexpensive, right? And you know, this tower can pay for itself in about 6 months, depending on what you're growing right now at home or what you're buying at the grocery store. If you're spending about $12 a week on produce at the grocery store, who isn't? Most of us are spending a lot more, right? This will save you money in the long run. You have to think long term. And depending on the size of your family, it could pay for itself even more quickly than 6 months. Here's another tower that's actually growing food right now. Mizuna on the bottom, the real leafy thing. I have actually a arugula plant here right in the middle. There's only one. There's my wild arugula. And then some purple lettuce. There's some spinach in here. And there's some Swiss chard at the top. So yeah, I've already harvested this. That's the other thing I love about the tower gardens. You get way more harvests out of the tower garden. I've probably harvested off this tower 7 to 8 times already. And you can see there's still plenty of food here for me to harvest. Pretty amazing, right? The other thing I love about the tower gardens is they're local. They're part of the locavore movement. You don't have to get in your car and go anywhere. I have not bought any lettuce all winter, and I've been having salads every single day, and it's all from my tower. And these towers stay outside all winter long. Snow, sleet, hail, whatever happens. I'm in Northern California. I don't live in the southern part. So these past 2 weeks, we've had about 4 days of snow up in the hills around here. I think one day it snowed down here in town, but it doesn't do any damage to my tower garden, which is pretty cool. And here's my other tower garden, which is growing kale. It's got some Swiss chard at the top. It's got the white Russian kale below that. And then even down further, I have some dino kale. And yeah, I've been harvesting this also this winter. This hasn't been growing as fast as I wish it was. I got these starts from the college, and I think they were not as healthy as I wish they were. But now that the weather's getting better, and I've been able to nurture them a little bit, they're actually starting to take off. So, yay. Okay, people, happy growing. Stay healthy. Do everything you can for yourself to take control of your food. And this is one way that you can take absolute control of your food. Have a beautiful day. Bye now.